Okay, let's get started. Welcome to session number 25 on Davos Experience in Tokyo. We have quite a big group tonight, and my name is Yoko Ishikura. I have been hosting this series since 2013 February, so it's been a little bit over 2 years. And we're very happy to have all of you today, and we'll have a guest. And it's been a little while since we had the session here. Just out of curiosity, how many of you, this is the first time? A lot. I think it may be because of the interest in a topic, and because agriculture and food supply is very critical in many ways, and we can take a look at it from different aspects. And are there any who were at the last session at Ogilvy Mather? Okay, this is somebody. So if I know of a person left iPad even, but he identified himself very quickly. So, but this is somebody's. Okay. Good. So we have quite a few new people, which is great all the time, and we'll be talking about this agriculture, TPP, and so forth. But as the name implies, this is we are trying to create an environment where we can address the issue of the global agenda to someone, or Japanese agenda, such as food and such as agriculture, which is one of the major issues in the world today. And we use the phrase Davos experience because the World Economic Forum holds the annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland. So it's often known as Davos Conference. And for that matter, there will be an East Asia Forum starting on Sunday, this Sunday, the day after tomorrow, in Jakarta. And I will be joining the East Asia Forum on Monday because I have something else to do on Sunday, but I fly to Jakarta on Sunday night. And we have 2 days, and this time, because of the ASEAN community is going to be launched at the end of 2015, so the interest is what's going on in the new regionalism of ASEAN. So that's part of the reason why they're holding it in Jakarta. Last year we had one in Manila, which I attended, and the year before we had one in Myanmar. And 2011 we had one in Jakarta, so we're going back there. But now we have a new president in Indonesia, and Indonesia has been known for the rapid growth these days, and with a lot of natural resources. So it should be very interesting. And I will be facilitating one of the sessions entitled Financial Inclusion and Protection, because a lot of people don't even have accounts, bank accounts, and they are not insured. So how do we make sure that they are protected and they're included in the financial system? And I think we'll be talking about technological solution as well. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen and how we discuss. But there, I'll be facilitating the session like this, the small groups. We do have a panelist at the beginning giving a little bit of a sort of initial remarks, talking about different aspects of financial inclusion and so forth. And then the members will be broken up into the small breakout groups, and they discuss, and they report back. So this is the same idea as we are trying to do today. So with that note, let me introduce today's guest. That's Ms. Yuriko Kato, very good friend of mine. And she has been very much active in the area of agriculture and food supply chain. And in fact, I met her at the Women Innovative Forum, Initiative Forum, because she was the grand prize winner of the business plan competition by DBJ, Development Bank of Japan. When Development Bank of Japan was trying to encourage entrepreneurs, and they were really focusing on women at that point in time. So they always, I think this must be the 4th year of that event. But she is the winner of the grand prize in the first year. So I met her and with the other women entrepreneurs, and I got very interested in this agriculture, and because she has a technological background. And I think the combination of technology and agriculture is quite remarkable, because there not too many things have been going on yet. So I thought it was very interesting. And she started the business and sort of NPO type and consulting as well. So I invited her to lead the session. And so with that note, I would like to turn things over to Kato-san. And she will be talking for about 10 minutes or so. We'll take some questions and we'll ask you to think about something so that you get engaged. And then we'll ask you to break up into the other groups, and you can have the other discussion in English. Clear? Okay. So with that note, please.
Good evening. My name is Yuriko Kato. Today I'm from Shizuoka and Kikugawa City. Do you know Kikugawa? It's famous for green tea. Green tea, yes. And you can see raccoon dogs or deers or some other wild animals. So very, very rural town. I'm from there. And I have been in UK or America for 1.5 years to study agriculture, machinery, or engineering. But I'm an engineer, so then, and it's been 20 years since I gave a presentation in English last time, so maybe now I think I'm okay, but in a few minutes maybe I'm mixing Japanese and English, so please excuse me. So my profile. I'm born in Chiba Prefecture, so next to Tokyo. Tokyo University I graduated from, and went to UK, then I got master degrees. And after that, I joined a NASA's project at New Jersey State University. But only half a year, I belong with
NASA means space.
Yes.
Oh, great.
So since I came back to Japan, I belong to engineering company, so about 10 years. So after that, I started agricultural business because I have 2 children now. And thinking of them, I thought the machine is built and consumed in large amount. That's my engineering job, because I research or develop industrial machinery. So that was not my job, I thought. Then I remembered that I used to be interested in agriculture or environmental programs. So I just went back to agricultural field. That's about 5 years ago. So when I was an engineer, I challenged for the best motion control in the world, and I made it. So via numerical analysis or control, FPGA or some other engineering things I experienced. So this experience is now useful, then I will explain it later. business concept. The concept is this equation. I love mathematics, then I want to express my thought in mathematic way. Then agriculture times by any equal happy. Because you can say agriculture is a social foundation, I thought. Because, without agriculture, any social cannot exist, I think. Then agriculture is very attractive. Because you can put education or engineering or employment, some other anything put to any. Then you can make the region or some small social or Japan or world be happy. You can make any equation, any happy to put your specialty to any. Then, so we, our business is concept based on this. Then we have two business here, energy provider and agri-innovator. And this was we made, so not a general one. And which provider, two business. Course business coordinator between people in two different fields, like farmers and consumers, or farmers engineers, or farmers teachers, who don't communicate well. So we coordinate between different people in the different fields. Then we make, create a new business or business projects to make the region happy. Then a few, so one business is veg provider. Then a few decades ago, farmers, there are farmers and eaters, just have it and eat. But now, today's supply chain creates users between farmers and eaters. So this change is very big for farmers and also eaters. Maybe the 60% of food supplied from users. So many people tend not to cook. So user business. And the second, farmers they involved. So not coordinator, knowledge provider is not the main role. So farmers are main. And the third one is farm should be seen. So as a visit to the restaurant. Utaya. Yes. So in
the restaurant?
Yeah.
I see.
Right person is farmer. So the chef visited the farmer almost once a month. Then communicate each other. Then chef order this kind of vegetable ones, or farmers talk to the point of vegetables to chef. So communicate each other. Then the chef can talk to customers about the farm charm point. or vegetables viewpoints. So communicate chef and customers. So now the restaurants gain.
Yeah, their sales is
Yes, there's increasing using a veg providers vegetables. That's the veg providers work. And I show you some
data.
data.
Yeah, statistics.
Yes, statistics. And Japan is self-sufficiency rate. Japan is 40, and this year is 39. So getting decreasing still.
Is that just food? Is it just agriculture?
Agriculture, yes.
Very low, very low.
Yeah, we often talk about the self-sufficiency kind of things, because the agriculture is such a sort of critical trade issue. A lot of subsidies are going on and so forth, and they say, well, self-sufficiency. If something happens, and if the food trade is cut off, we're gonna die. So that's why we try to figure out the self-sufficiency.
So the government tried going up the self-sufficiency rate, but with the current rate is getting down. The reason, and one more thing, abundant farmland is in the world. Many trade companies buy farmlands, but in Japan, in the opposite way, many farmland is abandoned. So like this, 400,000 hectares abandoned. So that area is like all Shikoku, 400,000 hectares, and getting bigger.
Is that mainly for economic reasons, that it's not worth the money in growing, or is it other reasons like fear of natural disasters or other?
Or lack of
Yeah.
workforce?
Yeah,
I'll show
or-
the next data.
Oh,
Yeah, this is one big reason. Farmers' age structure. So the other countries' main workers, farmers, 35 to 60.
Yeah, well, just for your information,
yeah.
From the left, that's Britain, France, Germany, US, and Japan. So you can tell that Japan has those who are over 65 accounts for 60%. And then, you can pretty much figure out the age. The one down at the bottom is the age. So less than 35, 35 to 44, and so forth. So, I mean, Japan is so distinctive in a way, because the farmers are very old.
So this year, the average age is 66.9. And rice, about rice, the age is a bit lower. In vegetables, over 70 now. So I feel very dangerous.
Yeah, so we have a lot of risk.
Yeah. So that's why, so all people abandon farm land. And also some other reason also, law
Yeah, because of the law.
protects the having farmland.
Yeah. I think the farmers or farmland has a lot of privilege. So if you declare that you do have a farmland and you do a little bit of farming, you get a lot of subsidies, regardless of how much you do. So that sort of encourages the farmers to hang on to the farmland, and yet they don't do it. A lot of things.
Is it like very similar to the age structure of everybody, not just for farmers?
To some extent. Yeah, well, because 25% of the total population of Japan is over 65. So, but, I mean, that's pretty sort of, I mean, if you go to the IT industry or something, that's, the average age is much younger, and you don't have that many. So agriculture is quite remarkable in that sense, even though Japan as the country is aging, as you mentioned. Okay?
So we just started develop robots for agriculture because the number of farmers decreasing, and so without doing anything, and we don't have any foods from our own, from Japan. So we thought, are we improving this robot? Watching the environment and plants by self-controlled run. So we will make 300 robots like this year. Then farmers will use them this year, supported by
Agriculture, Ministry of
Yeah.
Agriculture.
And the right one is also
Combine? Yeah.
combine.
I don't know how you call it. Any expert in farming? I don't know how you call it. You know, even in Japanese. Pardon me? Picking? Yeah.
Harvest.
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 Okay.
Called the
Photo
combine
harvest.
harvester.
Yeah, I think harvest. Yeah, harvesting. No. So oat harvesting spinach, or
Oh, I see, I
lettuce,
see.
or cabbage. Because today's big farm, is supported by Asian people. So, like
Even in
plantation.
Japan?
Yeah.
Even in Japan?
Japan.
I see.
So, 奴隷みたいって言ってる。
So they are essentially the low skilled labor, and they come from Asia. I see.
So we have to change the working environment.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So now we try to make these kind of robots for machinery, or the factory automation.
Yeah. Okay.
To improve the productivities. Yeah.
Question? Sure. You mentioned that we have one of the reasons to decrease the efficiency rate is the Asian issue. I wonder how they learn to operate this kind of robot. They train, they give you the training opportunity to learn this, to operate this kind of robot.
We think old people don't use them.
They don't.
No. Maybe young,
Young,
yeah.
Relatively.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not 70-year-old. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good.
So, yeah, that's all.
That's it? Okay, great. Thank you very much. You have a little bit of an idea. Can I have a light? Let me ask you a couple of questions. You have a little bit of understanding of where the agriculture stands and where there's a sort of absence of fit or sort of exchange between the farmers and whoever are final consumers. How many of you ever attempted to grow your own vegetables? That's very interesting. Let me ask you why.
When I was a kid, at my parents' house, we have a big backyard.
Yeah.
So my parents thought it would be a fun activity for us, and we did it for a summer, but the rabbits ate everything, so then we got really disappointed.
Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Making basil.
Basil, okay. Basil is quite easy, but it's very good. I mean, all you need is a small pot.
Right.
But yeah, you can use it for pasta, you can use it for all sorts of things. And fresh basil is really good.
In college, I built a hydroponics garden on a window that was something vertical.
Oh, I see.
It was more just, it grew like one meal per week.
Oh, is that right? That's amazing. Why is that? I mean, how do you do that?
How do you?
Yeah, that's so
a
efficient,
pump
right?
that circulates water, and all I need to do is put nutrients directly in the water.
Oh, I see. Okay. So they get all the nutrients and just grow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. That's very interesting. Another question. Has any one of you ever thought about doing this startup in agriculture? Okay, let me think about it. Now that you know where our self-sufficiency rate is, which is very low, and the farmers are getting older, but we need to eat. So, I mean, some people say there's this great potential for startup. And so, if somebody asks you, are you interested in startup because the technology is coming in? What would you say? Yes or no? And share your view with the neighbor. Just discuss it, whether you're a neighbor or in a group of three or whatever. Think about it and just do it first. Okay?
I think I haven't educated enough
Yeah, should be taxed sometimes it's hard to manage it. That's like a large scale. It's hard to find where is like a yield, something like that. So we use this model to tax
Next, now that you have a little bit of an idea for the startups and so forth, let's figure out. I think Kato-san said agriculture combined with something, right? So let's just list some ideas. Agriculture with what?
Genetic engineering.
Genetic engineering, okay.
Oh.
We started off with something pretty heavy. Okay, what else?
You like it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Education.
Education? Tourism?
Architecture.
Pardon?
Architecture.
Architecture? Okay. And?
Zen, Z-E-N, Zen.
Zen.
What else? Getting, entertainment? This is good. What else?
Exports.
Pardon me?
Exports.
Exports? Okay.
The city or urban environment?
Urban?
Art.
Art?
Art.
Beauty.
Beauty? Remote control. Okay, let's see, how many whiteboards how many groups do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. Okay, you can vote for 2. We'll just select 8. Is Kotani-san around? How many people are here? I wonder. She's not here, okay. Probably about 40 or more, right? I think we have more. So I think each one can have like 6 people or so, and that's pretty good. So okay, so each one of you have 2 votes, so you can select any one of these 2 votes, and if the biggest 2 will genetic engineering. Okay. Education, right? Education, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tourism? Seems like this is a winner. I didn't even have to. Architecture? Okay, that seems to be the winner too. I think we're out. Zen? Entertainment? Okay. Okay, I think we're, this one is export? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, urban environment? 1, 2, 3, 4, I think this is it. Art? Let's see, we crossed out this and art again. Beauty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remote control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I think beauty is out. So we'll do education, tourism, architecture, entertainment, export, urban environment. We're in, right?
Well, I think you can lump urban environment, urban planning and architecture. I think
Oh,
they're the
okay,
same.
okay. So these are the same one. Then we could get beauty in. Okay? Okay, so. Okay, so these are the topics. You can go to any one of the groups. And if one group is too crowded and the other doesn't have too many, then we may have to shuffle a little bit. But spend about 45 minutes trying to figure out what are the kind of things that you could do. You can think about new business in that area, or you can think about some other ideas, innovation. Clear? If you want to ask something to Kato-san, be sure to call her to your group. Then she can respond to your questions. Okay?